All right. I am currently drinking from my big cup of get shit done glass. ASMR. Got my iced coffee. And this glass is quite accurate because, full disclosure, this episode was a bit of a shit show. Not because of the recording, not because of the conversation, not because of Jill. She is phenomenal. Wait, you'll see. But because of the things that went on during our call. Now, hopefully, they won't be too obvious, but a bit of a heads up while you're listening. We had power outages. We had puppies crying in the background. Oh, there was a lot going on. But like all good shit shows, this one turned out to be pure magic, and you're going to hear why. Jill Stanton is the entrepreneurial force behind Screw the 9 to 5. Since 2012, she's built and sold over 35 online businesses, co-founded a membership community with more than 45,000 members, created Millionaire Girls Club, and hosted luxury retreats in places like Costa Rica, Thailand, Australia, Mexico. Jill's gone on to become the business coach, the woman people call when they're done playing small and ready to make millions, create freedom, and actually enjoy their business. As always, we are going beyond the feed. We are diving into the grit behind the growth, what it really took to launch across continents, build global communities, and stay true to her values through it all. Trust me, this conversation is as raw, slightly chaotic at times, but powerful, and it's going to be one you really love. So let's dive into it. Jill, welcome to the She Got Lucky podcast. All right, welcome to the podcast, Jill. So excited to have you on.
I'm so excited to be here. I have a feeling this one's going to get real juicy real quick.
Oh, absolutely. I've already teed Jill up. We are diving into it. And actually, I usually start with your She Got Lucky story. And I know I've just said, we start with this. But I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling something a little bit fun today. I'm feeling maybe we start with a bit of a fast round where we can get an idea of Jill. We can get an idea of what's coming in this episode because I know there's going to be a lot. Are you all right with that? Are you all right with a quick little change up last minute?
Let's hit it. I can't promise I won't say swear words, but hit me.
That's all right. That is all right.
Okay,
you get to be here however you want to be here. All right.
Oh, I like it. Full permission. Right. Let's go.
Full permission. Full permission. All right. So fast round. First up. So some of these are just going to be like one word answer. Some of these will just be a short answer, but we're just going to have a little speedy round. So margarita or espresso martini?
Depends on the time of day. Mainly margarita. It's like, I want to say espresso martini, but I cap out at like noon for that. So
absolutely fair enough.
Are we talking about day-to-day life or vacation life? If it's vacation life, espresso martinis. If it's day-to-day, margaritas.
Love it. What did you want to be when you were 10?
Oh my gosh, I wanted to be a TV broadcaster. But my dad told me I should be an entertainment lawyer because I love to argue. Thanks, Dad.
I love it.
It's called Enneagram 8. God damn.
A word you want to be known for that's not successful.
Potent.
A biggest ick in the online business right now. Online business space, what is your biggest ick?
Oh man, women calling women out. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate it so much. It's so unnecessary.
Yeah. Last thing you asked ChatGPT.
To help me write my letter of reference for my number 2s.
Brilliant.
I was like, well, I only have 5 minutes before I hop on Alicia's thing and I want to get it done because I love Christina. So can you help me write my letter of reference? It's like, I was like, here's all the things that I love about her. Go.
It's my favorite thing. That's my favorite question. Who is in if you had a dream group chat, you could have anyone in the world, whether they're alive today or not. Who would like the first 3 people that come to mind you'd want in your group chat?
Well, I really I can't remember how to say her last name, but is it Emma Greedy? Greed? You know, like the Kardashians' business partner?
Ah, gotcha. Okay, yep.
Emma something. She has a podcast called Aspire. I can't remember her last name off the top of my head. Right now, Elon Musk. Wait, does it have to be girls?
It can be anyone.
Oh, okay, so put Elon in there because I'd be like, what's going on? Why are you... why are you posting these things?
Love this.
And then, who would I have as my third? Someone who's just like, I don't know. It's like, oh, there's this one's stumping me. I'm like, make it good, Jill. I don't want any like
You don't
lame
want to be up late
motherfuckers
at
in
night
there.
tonight being like, I should have said
Yeah,
this
I'd be like,
person.
I don't want that lame motherfucker in there. You're out. Man, this one's hard. It has to be 3.
It can be 3, it can be 4, it can just be Elon and Emma.
Oh, okay. Okay. I feel like I would put like an old school Madonna in there. Like Madonna, like back in the day when she was sassy and like unapologetic and just audacious, and when she was in her prime and just like pure rebel energy. Chuck her in there.
Perfect.
Let's see what
We've got
happens with
Emma,
those 3.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a really fun group chat. Okay. What's your favorite piece of content you've ever made?
Does it have to be like on social media or a podcast, or can it be like
Anything.
stuff I've hosted?
Yeah.
I would say that my favorite like experience I've ever made was my first Millionaire Girls Club retreat in Costa Rica. That was amazing. My second favorite would probably be my Millionaire Girls Club Mexico retreat, because that one was just like, oh. And then right now, I would say one of my favorite things to host currently is my Lightyear group and all the conversations that happen in there. I really am really, 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 really digging those kind of conversations and like the new levels of like expansion and power, and like, I don't know, just I'm really digging a lot of the conversations that stretch all of us.
Yes. Okay. We're going to dive into more of this. Final question, and then we're going to dive on into your She Got Lucky story. But the most expensive lesson you've had in business?
Letting the wrong people into my programs.
Okay,
like,
that was perfect.
Hands down. Letting the wrong people come to events, letting the wrong people. And I believe myself to be a strong, like very talented reader of people. It's my human design as well, also. But I feel as though I can read a room very strongly. And when I override my gut and I let people in for like quote unquote compassionate reasons, it bites me in the ass every single time. Because I'm like, see, knew she was the problem.
Yep. Okay.
This is what you get, Jill.
Very, very good expensive lesson. So, Jill, let's go back to, because there is so much we want to unpack in this episode. There is plenty. We could have a whole freaking like season of Jill with how much we can go
I'm here
through.
for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is just part 1. Get ready, guys. So has there been a moment where perhaps somebody, it might have been someone you knew, someone online, was just like, yeah, but Jill, easy, because you had this head start, you had this lucky thing, you know, the timing. Is there anything that comes to mind there?
Yeah, I get it quite often when people say, yeah, but you have Josh, my husband, who is like literally the yin to my yang. And so I'm like, yeah, you're right. I do have him. And also it's like, you can hire a Josh. Like he is not, I mean, he's talented and he's smart and he's intelligent. And he's the yin to my yang and like my PIC and whatnot. But also it's not like he is the sole reason for my success. It's like, I could have done that with or without him. Was it easier because he's like, we live together, run our businesses 24/7? Yeah, probably. But also it comes with so many challenges as well. And so when people think that that's like the easy route to success, I'm like, that shows me you've never worked with your husband.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Definitely. So did you start a business after the two of you met, or, you know, where did this begin for you, I guess?
We each had our own businesses when we met. And then we came together and started a business together back in like late 2011. But before that, Josh had a software company and I had a social media management company. So we were always doing our own thing. It's just, as I had a social media management company, I was watching him make all this cash and really not work the hours I was working. I was like, I want that. And I felt like at the time I had like 10 different little bosses because I had a lot of clients and whatnot, which was a great problem to have, but it was just very draining. And I remember he came to me one time in 2011. He's like, I think we should start a business together. And I was like, I'm in, like immediately, like, yes, I'm in. And I was like, what should we do? And he's like, I think we should start an affiliate site. And I was like, okay. what's an affiliate site? Like, so I was so green to it. Like, I really didn't have any experience online. I didn't know how to write for the web. I didn't know about newsletters, content, SEO, none of that. And this is like late 2011. So the game was very different. We were writing like keyword rich blog posts and like ranking on blogging networks and stuff like that. So he really taught me the ropes. And so I think this is why people say like, oh, it's easy for you because you had Josh. You're so lucky because you had Josh. And I'm like, yes. And like, there's only so much he did that, you know, like we were a team. Yes. And also I concretely believe that you can do that stuff even without a partner. So yeah, he was the first one to really like open my eyes to the world of online entrepreneurship. And then from there, it was a series of trial and error, truthfully. It was like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what stuck, amping up what did, and cutting what didn't. And even that journey for us, like what started back in 2011 is very different to what I have now. Like that was the days of us writing 4-page websites that reviewed specific skincare products. It was so different to what you have to do now. You know what I mean? And then from there, Screw the 9 to 5 was born. And then we had that brand for 10 years. And then I started Millionaire Girls Club. And now I have my Jill Stanton brand. So it's been a giant evolution. And not all of that is, I mean, Josh has played a pivotal role, but a lot of that is also my own nudges and my own leadership and my own identity coming to the surface and blossoming. I was like, what's a better word than blossoming? I can't think of one, but here we go. Sounds
That's right. Does
fluffy.
the job. It does the job. So can we go back? Because like, I'm sure that sort of comment would have been made a while ago where perhaps, you know, you have been through so much now. You've got so much wisdom. You've got so much experience. You've lived so many different things that your resilience would be a lot different. The way you see yourself, the way people's words impact you would be very, very different. So, you know, back then when you were starting that first business together, you were seeing the success. And perhaps it was one of the first times where a comment like that was made. What went through your mind versus now when people might say that?
Back then, I'd be like, you're right. I can't live without him. I'm screwed. Because back then, and I'm talking like pre-2020. So like for context, Josh and I had Screw the 9 to 5 from like 2013 up until 2020. Well, we had it beyond that, but during that time, I never taught anything on my own. That's how much I believed I was not smart. So I operated under a belief of like, Josh is a smart one. Josh is the teacher. Josh is the coach. Like for years, I held that belief. And so when they used to say it, I'd be like, you're right. I'm terrible. But now I'm like, oh, okay, bro. All right. See you later. And so I think I've had enough reps around it. And also I give way less fucks about what people on the internet think. And also I've done a lot of deep emotional work that has felt hard at the time, but has also liberated me from giving a shit about what people think, like what they might say or what they might think in regards to me, Josh, what we do, anything that I've ever done, anything I've ever said, all of that kind of stuff. But that comes through reps. I didn't think that right away as I started doing this work. It took me years to get to that. But I've been on this journey for a good 7 years of working on myself and doing the identity work and the emotional awareness work and all of that kind of stuff. So because of that, I've now gotten to this place, but it used to rock me.
I can completely understand that. And I think that also for a lot of people who perhaps experience success, right? Success, whatever it looks like, faster than they feel that, okay, well, this felt easier than it, I guess, should have been. Like this felt like it came quite quickly. And then it's really easy to come up with reasons why, oh, well, it was because of this. And regardless of what other people might say, you can create your own stories as well. So
for sure.
Yeah. So, okay, let's dive forward. So you had that business with Josh. You did some pivots, and I think this is another big thing that I want to talk about is pivoting constantly should be your middle name. But talk us through, how did you make that leap from 9 to 5 with Josh, and then I'm gonna start million dollar girls club? Have I got that right?
Millionaire Girls Club.
Thank you so much.
Club. Yeah. MGC.
Thank you.
So that is an interesting story because I actually had the idea for MGC in 2019 when I was on the back of a scooter riding through the rice fields of Bali. So that sounds ridiculous because then I didn't start it until 2021. So it came through like a fucking lightning bolt for me. It was like I'm a authority in human design. So it hit me and I was like, that's the move for me. But going back to like my whole belief that I wasn't smart, I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not the one to lead that kind of group. But the thought of it never left me. I was just like, I don't know what it is. I just can't stop thinking about it. Now, in hindsight, I'm like, wow, I'm really glad I didn't move on it in 2019 because my first event would have been in 2020 and that would have been a giant shit show. So
Yes.
very grateful that I was in my own triggers for a good 2 years around that because it was like divine redirection. And then once 2021 hit and I could not shake it, I was just like, I know I want to do this. So I at least have to give it a shot. Let's just at least run one and see what happens. But I was still too in my own feels and I like barely promoted it. I rarely posted on social media about it. I don't know how it got out there. Well, I assume through my network and like my connections and what I had created with Screw the 9 to 5. And you know what I mean? We were kind of on the map during that time. And so 14 amazing, perfectly aligned women found their way into that. So it was in 2022 that we had this, but I started feeling it in 2021. And I didn't know what to expect. I literally went in with zero expectations. And it was just 5 days of like absolute paradise. Everyone gelled so beautifully. We all had the best moments. We had like so many core memories locked in. Everyone gelled. The conversations were expansive. I remember it so clearly. It was on our boat day, which is like day 2 of the experience. And we were in Costa Rica on this beautiful like yacht catamaran. And the sun is setting and the sky is like purple, pink, and orange. Like it was just stunning. And we're sitting on the net thingy at the front of the catamaran. And I remember there's like Liz and Caitlin and Tina and Bridget and Andrea and myself and I think one other person. And everyone is talking about how to build companies to exit for like $100 million. And Caitlin's chiming in with like what to look for in a deal lawyer. And Liz is coming in with like how she increased her EBITDA, and Tina's coming in with like how she sold her first business. And I was just like, where are these kind of conversations happening for women on the front of a fucking boat sailing through Costa Rica? You know, like that's just not, I had never found that before. You know what I mean? And it's normally like all the dudes at an event are having this kind of conversation. And then the girls are like, what did he say? Like, I'm too far back. I can't hear what they're saying. And so in that moment, I was like, I've never been more grateful to take a risk on something. Like, it was just such a core memory moment for me and for so many of the women there. Like, I think all of us will remember it for forever. But it was that one moment where I was like, oh my God, this is why I was called to create it. Because I have a knack for bringing really aligned people together and I've just learned to like hone it. But that was just such a beautiful moment where it all came together in the most aligned, like impactful way. And I'll never forget it. I can't even remember what brought me there, but like that.
Yes.
That
Yes.
moment.
And I can imagine that you got off that boat and you're like, all right, when are we having another one of these? Like, when are we doing more? Yes.
It's funny you say that because like that day people were like, so when's the next one? I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do it again. Like, would it be this good again? Like, I was still in my own shit around it. I had deep wounding around women. I had like 10 plus years of just being mercilessly attacked by girls in school years and all of that kind of stuff. And it was like hard for me to process and release all that. But I think MGC was like the most healing thing I'd ever done. And I met so many of my dearest friends through it, like Caitlin and Jade. And I just have so many people, Amber, and so many people who matter so deeply because of that group. So I'm glad I like worked through that and leaned into the discomfort of it, because on the other side of the shit we're most scared of, or on the other side of that level of resistance and friction and emotional discomfort, typically comes so much alignment and power and like, I don't know, deep self-trust. And that's always like the ultimate payoff for me.
Yeah, and because one thing I find so refreshing about yourself, Jill, because we briefly met a few months ago, and straight away there was like some energy. I was like, oh, this is a nice little magnetic energy this person has. And so, when I was doing a deep dive into your feed the other day, I was just like, this is just, you're like, oh shit, no.
No.
But it was really refreshing. It was really refreshing. There was so much that you spoke about, and that's why I messaged you straight away, and I was like, Jill, can I have you on the podcast? Because you have experienced so many different sides to business, because you've experienced so many conversations, so many relationships, so many ups and downs and lefts and rights, I just feel that you have this really beautiful insight into what actually will drive your business to grow, drive your business to success, but most importantly, to actually enjoy it. And I said to you before that right now, I think that there's a lot of people out there who are achieving great things, who are seeing great financial results, who are signing on clients, who are doing the things, but they just don't feel that magnetic lit up energy. And they're almost waiting for the next big result, next big thing to be truly happy.
I think when we measure our own personal value / self-worth / our level of success based on what we think others are experiencing or how we think it's going for other people.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mm. 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 Yes. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Mm. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Mm. Mm. Yeah, and I am seeing this massive shift at the moment in the way of the people who are leading, the people who are, really sort of solid, I guess, in a sense, because I do see this. There are so many business owners, there are so many people deciding to go different paths because maybe this wasn't for them. And it is really really interesting that you say that. And something you said, and I'm trying to, because my brain is like it has a thought and then it's out the next side and then something else is in here. But um something that you said was staying really agile and shifting, and obviously things that were working back then isn't. So what have you yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, especially in the online space. I mean, there's a new thing, there's a new, AI that's everything's changed. But with your clients, what are some of the shifts that you're working through with them so that that way they do feel like they're not chasing the tail, they're not chasing other things, they do feel equipped and they're on the pulse right now?
I mean, it is at the forefront of everything you do. Like, strategy does not matter without identity, because you can have the best strategy in the world, but if your identity isn't fully behind it, if you don't believe in it, if you don't believe in you, if you don't know how to handle the ups and downs with leadership, self-leadership, emotional awareness, emotional intelligence, and like true grounded power, you're going to be at the mercy of your feelings, other people's projections, and all the ups and downs that your business is going to go through. If you don't have the identity backing it all, if you don't believe that you can do it, if you don't believe that you're the type of person who creates immense possibilities for herself, then you will find a way to sabotage it just to further back up the identity you currently hold, which is, you know, say for someone, it's like, I don't know how to be successful, or I'm not good with money, or mine used to be, I'm not smart, right? Like, think about a belief that of I'm not smart, how much that can impact you. I didn't host trainings on my own. I didn't start my own business for 2 years. I heavily relied on Josh. I abdicated my own power. I operated in proving energy. I was just so performative because I didn't think I was smart. And so I didn't trust myself to lead something on my own. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean around your identity. If you are not aware of the things that you think that are powering your decisions, the moves you make, the actions you take, then you're forever just going to be looping in the same level of plateau or stagnation or ups and downs in your business, and then feel frustrated and not sure of why it's not working. So identity, first and foremost, is the key to any level of success that you want. And really understanding the future self identity and the virtues that support that version of you. So, for example, something like courage. Like, courage is my number one virtue in business. It's like, okay, how can I do this with courage? Or if I'm going through a hard time, how can I lead myself with courage? Or if I'm at a plateau around, I don't know, marketing or customers or whatever it is, offers, conversions, it's all like, okay, if I was extra courageous, what would I do? What decision would I make? What action would I take? What move would I make? How would I present myself? How would I talk about this? How would I lead myself through this? So, identifying the key virtues that back up the identity you say you want to have. Okay, the version of you who's killing it, who can only ever win. What are the virtues that make up her identity? Start embodying those and being those now, and you shortcut the time it takes to get from where you are to where you want to be. So that's the first one. What was the original question?
Yeah, no, no, no. Let's stay on this because I think
Okay.
this is really good. I think this is really good. And there was something in there that I was like, oh, gut punch. Like that just hit me on a level. So I was like, this is gold. But because I think something that I was speaking about just on the other week's podcast was how interesting it is when a saying or something can have so much value, but without sort of discernment of how it impacts you and how you take it on can be a little bit risky. And what I mean by this, you've just sort of said this in the sense of that version of yourself. What are the beliefs? What are the things that they believe? What are the things, that? And I've listened to that, and I've loved this from the very get-go, from the start of, running a business, creating things. I've loved that. However, there's this level of this, which I would love to get your thoughts on, because another aspect that you can sort of take is this, fake it till you make it side of things, is what would the $1 million, year version of you look like? What is she doing? Okay, be that person now. And whilst I absolutely agree with what you've just said, I feel like that there's also a really easy way. It's like a slippery slope of, okay, well, she'd be saying this, she'd be showing up like this. And then you can like lean back into that performing version, which can then just feel extremely tiring, like you're constantly playing a character that's not you.
I can see that. I think where I'm going with this is like really identifying, like, how would she make decisions, or how would she handle conflict, or what would she do if a launch didn't go well for her? Like, would she spiral? Would she think it's all over? Would she be like, oh, I'm fucked? Would she be like, I knew this would happen? No. I guarantee that version of you who's killing it, she would actually be quite unfazed by it. She would actually be quite detached from it. And she would know how to manage her mind to get her back in her power and out of her head. That's what I mean about identifying those virtues. Is like she would lead herself with discernment and power and courage and authenticity. And she wouldn't make one situation mean something about her. Also around the like, act how she would act. It's like, well, how would she act? Would she be super like performing energy, or would she be very grounded? You know what I mean? Like, I imagine someone who is fully in her power is deeply grounded in who she is, in her values, in what matters to her, and what she's willing to tolerate and what she's not willing to tolerate, what she's available for, what she isn't available for. She would be deeply grounded in her standards and her boundaries. So that's what I'm talking about. It's not like she wakes up saying, I'm a money magnet. She's probably very detached around money. It's just normalized for her that she makes a lot of money. So she doesn't have to sit there and affirmation herself to get herself out of bed.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She operates with a belief of like, I'm the type of chick who knows how to make a lot of money, so I don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, also me checking to make sure I've got my affirmation glass, my brand's affirmation glass in front of me. And I was like, money magnet today? No, I haven't. Good. We've got a big cup of get shit done today. All right, good. You timed that perfectly.
Jill, I do this to myself all the time. I say things and then someone's like, and this is what my mug says. And I'm like, why do I have to do this to myself?
This is what I decided to put on my glass. No, but I think you put that really beautifully, because it's more about the inner thoughts, the inner beliefs, the inner ways, rather than, oh, the $1 million version, she would be driving this car, so I'll go get that car. And so I love the way you just put that. And I know that you mentioned before, sorry, you go.
Can I just quick say around that like car piece? Because I think often a lot of people think like, oh, I would have to spend money on this, or she would travel business, so I need to travel business. So here's what I mean by this. I assume the $1 million version of you, multi-million-dollar version of you, whoever it is for you, I imagine that version of you would actually not make misaligned purchases. She would not overstretch herself around money and make purchases that are just not a match for where she's currently at or what her finances currently say. I imagine she would be very smart and discerning with purchases. So that's my struggle when people are like, I'm just going to spend like she would. And I'm like, actually, that version of you would be very strong with money. She would make very intentional decisions with money. She wouldn't be like, I have to spend this to prove that I am it. She's like, bitch, I am it. I don't need to prove it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like normalized for her. So no, she wouldn't be doing that to prove that she's successful. Yes. She would make smart moves aligned with her growth and who she wants to be. That's where virtues and values come in.
I'm so glad you you pointed that, because that, yes. And one thing that you mentioned before that I want to dive into, because I haven't actually I haven't had anyone on the podcast who I feel, the identity piece and as well human design, right? So can you talk to me? How did finding human design, diving into this, really like changed the identity piece, the way you show up, everything in business. How did that change it all for you?
Okay, well, first I'm a manifester. So knowing that about myself was huge because I have struggled. I have the conditioning of a generator, someone who just goes, has predictable, reliable, dependable energy. Me as a manifestor, I don't have that. Also, I used to get so in my head around why I had to always be the one starting things. Why do I have to invite them over? Like, why can't they invite me? Or why do I have to be the one to bring this up? Or why do I have to be the one who solves this or starts this or gets this off the ground? It's like, because you're a manifestor. That is literally how you were designed to operate. You are meant to initiate things. So that looks like new ideas, new projects, partnerships, relationships, friendships. It's like often I have to be the one who like moves things forward. It's just before I understood human design, I feel like I had a level of resentment around that. And now it's just like, well, I'm a manifestor. So of course I have to do that. So it's given me strong understanding around that. Also, my splenic authority, that has been big for me. I used to be that like typical meme of like, hold on, let me overthink this. I would just be like, is this the right move? Like it feels good, but I don't know. I don't know if I should make reactionary decisions or like maybe this is irrational or it's too fast or I should think about it more. I'm not designed to work like that. I'm designed to like, once the zing lands for me, it's like, that's the move. And I just move really quickly. Yay, my power's back. Yay, Jill. My power's finally back.
I was like, is that what you said to yourself when you found your own power, your personal power again? I was
but
like,
yes,
the physical power is back.
the power turned on, guys. But also, yes, as a manifestor, it did feel deeply supportive for me to understand that about myself because manifestors are like the spark, right? They're like, that's how I had it described to me. They're like the match that gets it going. And once I learned that, it's like a whole new level of permission opened up for me because I'm meant to be a catalyst for ideas. I'm meant to get things off the ground. I'm meant to be a deep activator for people. And so that really helped to anchor in a lot of like who I am and just breathe so much permission into me. And then learning about, like I said, my authority. So being able to trust the zing for me, the second it lands and I know that that's my move, it's like, okay, now no matter what it is, and if it's hard, I still have to make the move. So I might as well just get out of my own way, embody courage, stay true to my virtues and my values and where I want to go and just have the uncomfortable conversation or make the uncomfortable move or do whatever I need to do to get it off the ground to follow the zing. And then the third piece of my design is I'm a 1-4. So learning that. So like the one, what are you, Alicia? Mm, yeah. Okay. I feel like I could have seen that coming from a mile away. My husband's an MG too. Okay. She wants you to talk about human design, clearly. So I'm definitely not a human design expert, but I am a one line who is the investigator and like goes deep into the rabbit hole of learning all the things. So like me in my one line is about like you're about to experience this as I try to explain human design because I personally love it and it's been a game changer for me. But human design is a combination of a bunch of different systems like the chakra system, astrology, epigenetics, all of that kind of stuff. So it's a complex system that this dude channeled over the space of like 6 days and then it's been further developed and expanded. But there's 5 types. Generators, manifesting generators, that's like 70% of the population. So they are what is called sacral. They have life force energy. Their energy is consistent, reliable, and dependable. And then there's projectors. They're 20% of the population, manifestors 8 or 9, and reflectors 1 or 2%. So there's different energy types. And it's essentially like who you are designed to be. So there's so many elements of it. There's your design, and then there's your strategy, your authority, your profile lines, your like incarnation cross, like all this kind of stuff. There's channels and gates and all these things. Like it's such a complex system. But I love Alpha HD for learning more about it. So that's Melanie Ann Layer's, like Alpha Fem's human design division. I also love, one of my favorite human design readers is Crystal Woods. She's a 1-3 emotional manifester, and she has such a nuanced understanding of human design. And some of my best readings have been with her. So she is amazing. I can't remember what her IG is, but I think it's Crystal L. Woods. I think she's fantastic. And then, I mean, there's so many others. Jenna Zoe, there's Day Luna. There's so many human design profiles that you can start to look at, and they all do deep dives into the different profiles. But I think Erin Claire Jones wrote a book on human design recently. I read a book called Human Design: Discover the Person You Were Born to Be. That's fantastic. It goes through all the different elements of human design. But for me, how it's impacted me is like, I'm also a quad right, which means once you do your human design, you'll get your body graph, and there's like 4 little arrows at the top, and all of mine point right, which means my perception or reception skills are like highly honed. I can read a room. I can understand, like I can just read people well. I can read situations and dynamics really well, which makes me a really great retreat host. Like that came in deeply, that was deeply supportive for me when I was running Millionaire Girls Club. So I really started to learn different elements of my design so I could hone them for myself. And then I have another element of my design, which is like I have the so funny, like right angle cross of penetration. Which sounds way sexier than it is, but it just means I can cut through the bullshit and I have a real clear understanding of what's actually at play, and I'm a deep activator and catalyst for people. So just getting to know that for myself and like deepening that for myself as a coach and as a leader, I find that it allows me to be a stronger activator for people, and knowing that I am meant to catalyze people's transformation. Like that is what I am literally put here to do with my specific design. So it just breathes so much permission into you, because now that I know that of myself, it's like, okay, I actually work really freaking well with the other designs who might need an invitation, like projectors, or might need something to respond to, like generators and MGs. So I can tailor my communication and my coaching based on someone's design because I know how to activate something in them. So it's just been really, really useful for me. Also, I have like an open head. So I have a lot of like, I'll swirl in thoughts a lot, you know, or I have a defined anja. So I have like a clear or like a really strong grasp of attention to detail. Like I have a wedding photo. This is like such a perfect example of it. I have a wedding photo where Josh and I are walking into the reception, and off in the distance, I noticed this like one little detail with the cupcake stand, but the photographer took a picture and Josh is like, and I'm like, what is that? And the whole picture is like me being like, and Josh being like, we're so two totally different people in that picture. And I'm like, there's my attention to detail at play. So it's just been deeply supportive for me. But I know not everyone loves it the way I do. I've learned to hone it for myself and really embody certain elements of it. So I find it very useful. And also, like, I don't know if you have kids, but I find it really useful in parenting, like very useful, because my son is a 2-5 generator. So for anyone who is hip to design or HD, they know that that's like a double projection line. So he's probably going to have some experiences that he feels pretty isolated, or people will project their shit onto him and he won't understand why, you know? So now that I have that understanding, I can support him through that. You know what I mean? Or the fact that I know he's a generator, and like when we used to do traditional school, he would come home and just jump on his trampoline and jump on the couch. And if I didn't understand that he needs to get his energy out, I'd be like, stop jumping on the couch. But because I know he's a generator and he just needs to get that energy out, I'm just like, bounce away, homie. You know what I mean? So it just helps me. Yeah. It's just like I'm more understanding of him and like how to support him and how to be there for him. Mhm. Putting on a show. Thank you. Mm, 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 mm. Well, I heavily prioritize alignment. I concretely believe that alignment is velocity. And a true belief that I hold of myself is that I'm the type of chick who makes bold decisions in service of alignment. And if something's off for me, I know I will not continue to do it. Like, I just know that about myself. First, I'm not just a manifestor, I'm also an Enneagram 8. So make me do something I don't want to do, I will just straight up bail on it. I'll be like, nah, I'm not doing that. Sorry, I'm just not available for that. So I've learned to give myself the permission to change my fucking mind. It's like, it's my business. I'm the one who has to run it. Like, you guys don't have to run it. You don't have to deal with the ups and downs and the stresses and the successes. I'm the one who has to deal with that. So yeah, I'm going to change my mind on this. Or yeah, I'm going to follow the nudge to deepen my alignment around this thing. Or yeah, one of my top virtues is courage. So of course, I'm going to make an uncomfortable decision that deepens my alignment and brings me closer to what I want to do. Like, zero fucks about that. I make zero apologies for it. The first time I ever did it, I did not know I could do it. And it was actually in Screw the 9 to 5 days. It was June 2018. And we had our son in February. And it's like, he was the catalyst for so much growth and expansion and like a deepening of our identities, mine and Josh's, not just as like business partners, husband and wife, parents, all of that, but who we are individually. And so he just breathed so much permission into us. And I don't know, it's like he broke away everything that no longer served us. It's like we couldn't unsee it. And I remember in June, we were coming off the back of 3 hard months where just things felt stuck. It's like we couldn't go back to the way that things used to be after we had our son. I don't know what it was. It was just anyone who has walked through the portal of becoming a parent knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's like the level of fucks you used to give just fall away. It's someone else takes higher priority for you. You have this like tiny little being who you love so much. And it's like it brings this giant mirror that causes you to look or explore your own stuff and be like, is this who I still want to be? Does this still matter to me? Is this still what I'm willing to give my time and attention to? Or do I want to switch it up? And so I remember it was June 2018, and we had a membership at the time. It was called Screw You, like Screw University, not Screw You, Alicia. And we had like 800 and something members in there. And it was like 80% of our revenue. And it was just felt so heavy by that time. And we couldn't shake it. I couldn't unsee it because the people we had in there were amazing. And so we had so much guilt of being around being like, why doesn't this feel good anymore? Like, what's going on? Like, this is the Scroopies. What are we talking about? Like, they used to call themselves Scramly, like Screw Family and Scroopies, Screw Groupies. And so we just had our own like language. We were all connected. We used to host house parties and events and like virtual masterminds. Like, we just had such a good thing going with them. And then to have that realization of like, holy shit, this is no longer aligned with what we want to do in business, that was a biggie for us. And I remember Josh was the first one who said, what if we shut down the membership? And I was just like, what? Like, you can do that? And the second he was like, we can do whatever the fuck we want, I was like, well, there we go. And so we made the decision by July. We told our members by September, and we shut it down on New Year's Eve 2018. And we had a goodbye party, and everyone got to share their favorite moments and their favorite memories. And it was just like the most beautiful experience. And we started 2019 with a blank slate. We cut every single thing that no longer served us. The membership, one-off offers, our free Facebook group that had like tons of thousands of people in it. Like anything and all the freebies we were doing, like everything that no longer served us was removed. Team members, all of it. We just did a giant cleanse and hit the reset button. And after that, because then in 2019, in the space of 8 weeks, we made all of 2018's revenue. in that short amount of time. I was like, boom. The second we got out of our way and made a decision in service of alignment, we just broke through to a whole other level. We were just off. It was like, boom, rocket ship energy. And once I saw that only good things happen off the back of bold decisions in service of alignment, I never went back. I was like, if anything felt misaligned, I either found a way to bring it back into alignment or to reframe it or to release it. And it just became a true value for me. It's like, I will not do shit that I am not aligned with. I fucking refuse to do that. It's also because I operate under a belief of I know how to make a lot of money. So I'm going to bring my time, energy, and attention. But you have to be able to, first off, if you have made money online, then you know how to make money. So you have to condition yourself with that belief. Like I had to repeat that over and over to myself. Anytime that the scarcity came in, as we are literally closing a membership that was like 80% of our revenue, I had to be like, it's okay. I know how to make a lot of money. It's okay. I'm the type of chick who knows how to make a lot of money. And I just supported myself through that. I coached myself through that. Because I guarantee anyone who has made a lot of money in the space, you know how to do it. You could do it again. It's not like, oh, you got lucky, like what we were talking about earlier. It's like, no. You built the skills for that. You became the person who did that, who is that. And this is where we go back to the identity piece. This is where cementing in those beliefs and those values and those virtues for yourself. It's thinking in alignment with her. You have to condition that for yourself. Otherwise, you'll be at the mercy of whatever you're feeling that day. But you got to bring yourself back to like, totally, man. She agrees. She's like, yeah, girl. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm Canadian, so I deeply get that. Like, I really struggled with the winters there, and I can't imagine ever living in winter ever again. It's just like, nope, not for me. But it's just really about identifying some really strong I am statements that you want to believe, or like I am statements that match her. Like, what would she think about herself? Start thinking that about yourself now. So, for example, I love using my phone screen to like give myself helpful things. So it's like, I always find a way to win. I deeply believe that to be true about myself. It's congruent for me. It's like, no, that lands for me because I believe it. And it's also deeply supportive of who I want to be. It's like, I always find a way to win. So I'm good. I know I'll get through this. I trust myself. Building that self-trust with yourself is the key to your next level at every stage of the game. Mm. Two of them. One is, in this moment, I am safe. So anytime I'm coming up against my own edge of like anything, money, taking a certain risk, making a certain move, making a certain decision, having a certain conversation with someone, anything that feels challenging for me or has me at the edge of my current level of identity, my current comfort zone, I anchor myself and I look around. I literally will look around my physical space and I will repeat to myself, in this moment, I'm safe. And it just anchors me back into the present. Because so often we get in our heads trying to control shit that is out of our control. The only thing you can truly, truly control is your thoughts, your opinions, your desires, your actions, and the moves you make, the decisions you make, all of that. The words you say, that's what you're in control of. Anything outside of that is outside of your control. And the suffering and the pain and the stress comes when you try to control shit that is outside of your control. So I re-anchor myself. I look around my space and I say to myself, in this moment, I'm safe. And I say it as much as I possibly need to calm myself down. So that's been the first one. The second one that I go back to all the time, no matter what, is I'm the type of chick who gets everything she wants. And it works both ways. It's like if my focus is off and I'm focused on calling in stuff that I don't want to call in, but I just haven't like had the discernment to see it yet. And so therefore I get disempowered situations or unwanted situations or whatever it is. It's like, oh, right. Cause I'm the type of chick who gets everything she wants. So my focus must have been off. I was off my game. And then on the flip side, it's like, well, I'm the type of chick who gets everything she wants. So of course it's going well for me. You know what I mean? It puts the ultimate ownership back in your hands because if you're the type of chick who gets everything she wants, then you would be ultra discerning with the thoughts you think, the things you say yes to, the things you're available for, your standards, your boundaries, what you put your energy into, the amount of effort, the relationships you hold space for, what you say yes to in a client setting, the boundaries you hold, all of that kind of stuff, the kind of content you create, what you are willing to be at the mercy of, what you're not willing to be at the mercy of, like all of that kind of stuff, how you choose to run your business. All of it is within your control. And if you are the type of person, or if you're the type of chick who gets everything she wants, then you would be hyper discerning around what you give your attention to and what you don't. Mm. 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 Oh, I love this. I think the easiest place for right now would be Instagram. I know I'm not actively always creating content, but I'm always in the DMs and I love chatting with people. So that would probably be the easiest way. So my Instagram is I am Jill Stanton. Super easy. And I would love to connect and chat and get to know more about you. So that would probably be the easiest. And then I run different workshops. I have different programs that might feel like a zing. It's such a good word. You know exactly what it is when you hear it. Yes. Thank you. Oh gosh. Mm. I kind of love that the power went out. It's like we short circuited the universe or some shit. We short circuited the power. It was such a high voltage conversation. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Mm-mm. Thanks, Alicia. Loved being here.